Congressman Khanna of California. Congressman, good to see you. President Trump threatening more tariffs as prices Americans pay for nearly everything are climbing. Now, we should note it's not as bad as the inflation of 2021, 2022, but it's still going in the wrong direction. What's your reaction?
Look, I'm for strategic tariffs of things that we make here, like steel and aluminum. The problem is the president is having blanket tariffs also on things that we don't make here. And he's been flip-flopping on it as he did on Mexico and Canada. Look, the Michigan survey has shown that now inflation expectations over the next year have risen. Consumer confidence has declined in a way it hasn't since 7 months. And I think it's the uncertainty more than anything that is hurting.
You represent Silicon Valley in Congress. You've known Elon Musk for more than a decade. One of his Tesla factories is actually in your congressional district. So you reached out to work with Musk and with the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to help them cut government waste. Now, you spoke to Politico about Musk and DOGE, and you said this, quote, "I assumed that there would be someone, an adult in the room to enforce the Constitution, but there's not." So, unquote. So how do you see Musk and DOGE not abiding by the Constitution? Tell us more about that.
Well, originally, when he was appointed and Vivek Ramaswamy was appointed, Vivek actually called me, Elon texted me, and I said, look, if you want to make cuts on the bloated defense budget with the 5 prime contractors, I'll assemble a group of Democrats, come to the Hill. I actually had spoken to Senator Warren, Senator Sanders, other Democrats about it, and I thought that we could have a constructive conversation. Instead, what happens is, first of all, they're focused on U.S. aid, which, regardless of your views, is 0.1% of the federal budget, as opposed to the Pentagon, that's 56% of the discretionary budget. And Musk and DOGE just start stopping payments arbitrarily and think that they have the authority to do that. They do not. Congress has the power of the purse. Then you have the vice president saying, defy the court orders. I mean, literally, he's saying, be Andrew Jackson, don't even listen to the court orders. That is what has really alarmed people, in at least Democrats on the Hill.
So one tactic by Democrats, who are the minority in the House and the Senate, to counter DOGE has been to join these protests outside of government buildings where these cuts are being made. Scott Galloway, who's on the show quite a bit, an influential podcaster, he suggested that Democrats do that. But today he told Dana Bash his reaction to how the strategy's played out with Democrats protesting outside government buildings. Take a listen.
Yeah, Dan, I was wrong because it looked more like a senior's home when they canceled Jell-O night.
What's your reaction?
Look, personally, I haven't gone outside these federal buildings. Partly, I know I can't sing on key. I know some of my colleagues have tried to sing and do all of the things. My view is, and I respect them, but my view is it'd be far better to have real Americans telling their stories about how a cut in cancer research funding or a potential cut in Head Start funding or funding for Title I for schools is affecting them. People don't trust politicians, and they don't have a lot of faith in federal buildings. And so I just don't think it's the right look or messaging. I'd much rather we have real people telling their stories.
So why aren't you?
We're working on it. I mean, we're working on it. We did in my district, but I think what we need to do is have a national approach where we're having people come to the Hill to tell those stories, maybe have a national town hall to tell those stories. But the focus, in my view, has to be on actual people who are being harmed instead of politicians. Even in terms of U.S. aid, let's talk to the doctors and nurses who are helping with these incredible treatments on malaria in Africa or HIV. I think that would have a lot more power than my going outside U.S. aid and making some speech.
Democratic Congressman